Okay. Mm. Let me get a few things squared away here. The Mets, boy, the Mets showed me up last night. Man. What's up? Good morning, man. Pat said he cashed 1 out of 3 slips. Man, it gets ugly sometimes. My guy, it gets ugly sometimes. It definitely does. It gets ugly sometimes. Mhm. Well, today I don't have a lot of time. I decided to end up going playing. I haven't been playing on Prize Picks lately. I did drop a $20 on there yesterday to do a to do a that Flex Friday, but at the end of the day, that one took an L, and I know I was just throwing some darts at the wall with that. Most of the time, those 6 picks they just don't hit, man. You know, but it is what it is. Um, make sure I got everything intact here. I don't have a lot of time today. I don't. Don't have a lot of time today. I don't. The Mets. Oh my God, the Mets. The Mets showed me up yesterday. Didn't they show me up? Good spots, everything. Just terrible, man. Just trash, right? So let's see what we can do here. Um, as of right now, okay, there you go, right there. All right. Okie dokie. Let me see. Man, Santana, the Mets yesterday had a nice had hit a couple of spots. I took an L yesterday. The Mets, boy, the Mets. I don't got a lot of time today though. So I didn't even set my stream up the right way or the way I wanted to. But we'll be getting it together. Okay. All right. So real quick. Hmm. So I looked over a few things, not a lot, right? I got things I gotta pretty much do. I actually didn't even get past I got a lot of games if I had to look over. So it probably don't seem like I'm gonna end up getting to that. I might be able to go over a few games with y'all. But the games that I did go over was looking like this. Was looking like there was a few bets that I liked here. I think they were mainly the righties in Minnesota. So definitely probably Buxton. Buxton was somebody that I was looking at there. I was also looking at the strikeouts. I have small. I got to lean towards the over strikeouts for Joe Ryan, right? So it's a lean, but his strikeouts are pretty much juiced up right now, 6.5 at a -140. So if you want to get there, be my guest. And I do have, I have. I lean to. You can use this pitching outs as a parlay piece. That's a lean as well, right? Looking at looking at Miami. I mean not Miami, Milwaukee versus right hand pitching. Um, Last 2 weeks, they number two in striking out in 230 plate appearances with an 83 WRC plus. So they could bode well for somebody's strikeouts like Joe Ryan's. Last 30 days, Milwaukee, they are ninth in striking out at 24% with a 96 WRC plus. So it is what it is within the last 30 days. Overall, on the whole season, they 13th with a 23% with a 108 WRC plus. Um, Joe Ryan, he has good K stuff. He does. I can see instances where he can get there, or you could tease it down. Now, I did take it on ESPN bet, and I got a few more just sitting over here in my player pool over here. What's up with it? Don't matter. What's going on? The Mets messed me up. Don't matter. The Mets got to me. The numbers look good, but it is what it is, right? But I did have. I mean, I used Joe Ryan pitching outs and 6.5, 5.5 strikeouts. Hopefully that cracks for me. So that's it. And like I said, I was looking at you gonna get that no runs first inning in this Milwaukee game. I didn't too much. I mean, it's possible, but the only reason was I looked at was Savali. Savali. I don't like Savali on the road, right? Or whatever. Yeah, I don't like Savali on the road. So, but it could happen. It could happen. Savali on the road just didn't look too good to me. Um, he's got a 6.2 ERA on the road, and he's pitching his worst towards right-hand batters at 292, and with a sprinkler of a 286 towards lefty. So a lot of that stuff don't matter sometimes, but he is pitching his worst on the road. So that's things like that you can take a look at. All my MLB failed. I hit last night UFC though. Alvarez fucked me up. Yeah, yep. They. It was crazy, right? So at the end of the day, that's what I was looking at right there, right? That's what I was looking at. Joe Ryan and with a lean. I mean, these are leans right here, right? Uh, these are leans right here. I would consider his strikeouts. I would consider his strikeouts because he does have good K stuff. Um, I'll just toss it over there for right now as a lean and just leave it there for right now. I did take the 5.5 in a bankroll builder though, so hopefully I smack that. Um, this Cincinnati Reds and this Washington Nationals game is the one that I figured I probably would look at a no runs first inning in this one. We do have over under 9 here. I do like the pitching outs for let me see, you know what? So I do have a 2-piece spicy too for prize picks and a 2-piece in general. So if you want to take a look at that, let's see. So we can take a look. What did I have here? I had pitching outs 17. I'm expecting Abbott to go 6, so I'll put that there. And then I had fantasy score for what's your fantasy score for Blanco. Okay, so that'll pay you 2 to 1. You know, as you can see an example right here, you put $20 on that, you get bet 60, whatever the case may be. Minimum bet 5, you put $5 on that, you draw back 15, right? So it is what it is in that situation. So that's a 2-pick right there. I've already locked that in. So yeah, that's what I'm looking like right there. There was a 2-pick right there. Fancy score with the fancy score with the Blanco thing. Fast forwarding to the Blanco thing, which would be later on. We already know, right? We already know with the Blanco going up against Seattle. How this fantasy score is broken down would be you get 3 points for each inning, and you get 3 points for each strikeout, right? And we do know Blanco is somebody who can go more than 6 innings. So especially going up against a Seattle team. Let's take a look here. Blanco, and then so if he gets me 6 strikeouts at three apiece, that would be 6 Ks. I mean that would be 18. And then 6 innings at 3 innings apiece, at 3 points apiece each inning, that'll be 18, right? So 18, that's just Ks and innings, that'll be 36. I think it's minus 1 or 3 for a run, right? And I figure he might give up a run or two, but then you get 4 points for quality start and 6 points for the win, right? So it's a multitude of ways that you can look at backing Blanco. So if he goes 6 innings and 6 Ks, that's 36 points. Then a quality start that could be 4 points, so that push him out to 40. Then a win, which would be 6 points, that'll push him out to 46. Rewind it back. If he gives up 3 runs, that negates 9 points. So 46, right? 46 minus 9 will leave you 37. I figure he can hit 37. That's my reasoning. That's my reason. I feel like they can win. I feel like he could pitch good enough to get the win, and that's my reasoning right there. That's my reasoning. I project him mentally in my head for 37 fantasy score. So it is what it is right there with that situation. That's how I'm looking at it, right? So that's how I look at that. That's a 2-piece spicy. If you guys want to tell that, you can. It's gonna be a lot more plays for y'all today. Going over these over unders here. So right now, Cincinnati is a 9, Philly is a 9, 8. St. Louis and Cardinals is an 8.5. In Atlanta, it's 8.5. Tampa Bay is a 9. Detroit is an 8. Another 9 with the New York Mets. 8s, 3 8s in a row with San Diego. Shout out to Cease yesterday. He went ballistic, man. And then y'all could have took my same analysis from the day before before that Cardinals game got rained out the day before, because I was all over Sonny Gray strikeouts, and I forgot to get there yesterday. He went out there and had 10. Either way it go, Chicago White Sox and does have an underfield towards this Kansas City game. This Chicago Cubs game is interesting here. Pretty interesting. It is pretty interesting. But that's a 7.5. But then we back to the 8.5s, right? The Baltimore and the Texas game, 8.5. Then we got 10 runs here in the San Francisco game, 9 in this Oakland game. Back to the 8 with the Seattle and the Pitchers Park, then up to a 9 again. So most of these games that do have 9 totals, I do want to look towards for bats, right? It's a lot of pitchers on here that I'm unknown. So next game that I did go over was, like I said, this was the game. My reasoning, so we got a lock right here. So let me see something real fast. My bad, family. Let me see something real fast. I don't have that much time, but I'm going to give you guys a few more things, a few more nuggets here that I ran across. Shit, I went outside last night. Shit, I went outside last night. I had to go outside. Shit, fuck that. Okay, so with this instances here with this here so the Washington Nationals. Well, wait. I already told you guys that. Okay, so now I did see instances where I thought Jake Irvin could get to his pitching outs, stuff like that. There was two bats that I did look at here, and it was going to be I think it was India and what's the kid name? Hines, right? So let me see. Um, so yeah, it was. Yeah, so I would consider, India just getting hits, right? He's a hitter, right? He's a hitter, right? He's getting hits. So with he's got a 9% K rate versus his pitch mix. Reese Hines, only a small sample size, but he is 7 for 9. And I want to say that's all the fastball, right? For Reese Hines. So I could take down the curveball. He's 5 or 6. I could take down the sinker, Reese Hines. So Reese Hines loves that fastball, right? He's 5 for 5 versus that fastball in the last couple weeks, right? But what else was it? That fastball, sinker, changeup, sinker, curveball. He's throwing that curveball the most, right? So India is green all the way through. If I'm just looking at the curveball, it don't look sexy, but you get the drift, right? He's throwing these pitches at 40, 35, and 23%. So he'll mix it up a little bit, but these guys will get a chance. I don't know if I'll bet on them, but these are the few guys that stood out to me, right? On the left-handers, like the left-handers don't look extremely good to me. They will strike out. Curveball cutter. So the left-handers, I mean, Ellie Dela Cruz, for whatever it's worth, sometimes he can go out there and sell. But at the end of the day, looking at the strikeout here, 24, 27, 33, 42, 33, all these highest strikeout percentages here. Like, I don't know. Like Fraley, he's got a 33 batting average, and along with Ellie De La Cruz over a course of, the last month, but versus this pitch mix. But these guys will strike out, right? A few bats looking out. That's why this game kind of has a under feel to it. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I can even show you. I can even show you the. I can even show you the Washington side of things, right? So Washington versus a lefty here, and then I can definitely see a no one's first inning this game, right? So let's see. Um, Andrew Abbott. Let's see. Fastball and sweeper. He's doing that fastball and sweeper predominantly. And let's see. Versus left-hand pitching, like I'll probably have to push it out some. Let's go back. Let's go to the last 2 months. So, last 2 months, not a big sample size, like 14 at-bats, 4 at-bats. Like, they haven't seen a lot of stuff, but when you're looking at C.J. Abrams, he looked bad, right? 30% K rates. All these guys got a big-time K rate today against that pitch, against them pitches, but they have hit it here and there, but not a big sample size. They just not looking good versus lefties right now. And at the end of the day, looking at this team, looking at these bats and stuff like that, the team as a whole, I can see instances where we can probably get a no one's first inning here, right? So versus left-hand pitching, like Cincinnati, Washington, they don't strike out that much versus lefties, but they only got an 80 WRC plus. So even the last 30 days, they just don't look good versus left-hand pitching overall. So they got a 17% K rate, but 79 WRC plus. They're just not hitting them. They're not striking out. They're doing a lot of ground balling and all that shit. So at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is, right? We do have a no runs first inning tool here. I don't really use it because I don't bet many of them, but I can clearly see that's a no runs first inning, or maybe under 1.5 for bankroll builders or something like that. I use it here and there, but no, I don't use this at the end of the day. But I would imagine you would click on the Cincinnati right here. You can see Andrew Abbott's got an 8-2 record, and Irvin's got a 7-4 record. You can look at versus lefties. You would see Washington is 12-3 to the no runs first inning, so that's good there. Versus righties, you can look at Cincinnati, who is 25-13. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Cincinnati, they outside of their ballpark, that's another thing. Outside of their ballpark, sometimes you want to look at their splits outside of their ballpark, right? When I was looking at Jake Irvin, looking at this team here versus right-hand pitching in general is a little bit different because of their ballpark. So right now, they on the season, they are striking out 25% of the time with a 91 WRC plus. That's Cincinnati, but the last 30 days, Cincinnati is around the 13th, right, with a 114 WRC plus. But at the end of the day, when you filter these guys on the road, same way when you want to look at like Coors Field, you want to look at their ass on the road sometimes because their ballpark produces a lot of runs. So Cincinnati comes back up here with a 94 WRC plus, goes down on the road, and their K percentage goes up a little bit more on the road. Last 2 weeks on the road, Cincinnati 27% K rate with a 92 WRC plus. But if you take the road away and just look at it in general, they'll have their K rate down here is 21.6 with a 169 WRC plus. That means at home in that ballpark they fuck somebody up. So at the end of the day, those you know, you gotta take into consideration ballpark factors and stuff like that in certain instances. I'm going super safe today. I got KC money line and Bobby Witt 1 hit. Ain't missed yet. KC alternate runs over 2.5. Then Giants alternate runs over 2.5. You talking about alternate runs? I got smoked yesterday with them. Everything you just said. Alternate runs, everything with the mess. They fucked me up. Altogether, those come out to a plus 100 easy little flip. That's what I like to see. That's what's up. So I definitely like that. I'm definitely digging that. But getting right here to the Philadelphia game here, I do see instances where they can put up runs here. And funny thing that pointed out to me was I think Pittsburgh can put up runs. I think I lean towards the over over that 9 here. That's all sums it up. Trey Turner, he's been on one. He didn't do nothing yesterday, but he's been on one. But the guys that popped out to me was Cal and Harper. Cal's got 3 home runs versus that pitch mix. And then lately, the righties didn't look too good versus that pitch mix. And then Harper, he looked okay. So the lefties, Harper and Kyle, look good. Look for Trey Turner to probably get back on top of things. And then on Pittsburgh side, they pretty much look good. Jackson Winsky versus that pitch mix surprisingly looked great. I mean, he had 3 home runs within a month span. Reynolds had 4 home runs versus that pitch mix. In fact, I'll show you guys. Jackson Winsky used to be my guy, man. So you never know. Today might be the day that he might smoke one, right? And he's been quietly balling, he's been quietly balling, lately. So let's see. Versus this pitch mix. Pittsburgh here, Phillips, going straight to the lefties. Super sweeper fastball. Left hand batters. So the last 2 weeks, last month, Jackson Winsky, surprisingly, he's only got a 10% K rate to this pitch mix, along with 7 hard hit balls and 3 home runs. I had that wrong. I'm sorry. I put 4 home runs I'm gonna put that back in my notes. So they got 3 home runs apiece. Both of these guys, they pretty much almost identical. Bryson, and within this time span, Reynolds got 26 and Jackson Winsky got 28 plate appearances. But other than that, I was really surprised to see a 10% K rate for Jackson Winsky in this time span. Hard hit balls is there. Both of these guys got a 385 isolated power with an exit velo of 91. They pretty much identical numbers, okay? 4 extra base hits, 3 home runs apiece within this time frame. So, it is what it is with that situation there. Ryan Reynolds is hitting the ball a little bit more harder at 57%, but we do know Jackson Winsky has the power to take one out. We got risky with the Mets. Kansas City games should be easy for today, hopefully so. Kansas City money line should be a lock for once you see who's pitching. Okay, for sure. But like I said, I got things to do this morning. It's unfortunate. Let me see if I can give you guys another 15, 20 minutes. But like I said, these guys were the guys that I was looking at. Now the righties looked okay, right? And this game is pretty much important here. Just like I was saying yesterday, sinking and sweeper. He's throwing a sinking and sweeper a lot, man. He's throwing a sinking and sweeper a lot towards righties. So Brian Hayes, within the last month, nobody's really hitting it for home runs, whatever the case may be. But if you pay attention to the lineups and the lineups come out, things like that, Brian Hayes 7 for 23, Gonzalez is 7 for 22, McCutchen 5 for 16. The thing about that is neither one of these, the top 4 bats right here, even Michael A. Taylor is 4 for 10 right there. But small ball, probably singles and shit like that. But the thing about to me is the not striking out part within the last month. Okay, that's big, right? If that indicates heat check, so they've been hot, which they have been hot versus righties. They have been hot versus righties. They've been putting up numbers. As we can see, the last 30 days, this Pittsburgh team, 21% K rate with a 104 WRC plus. That's pretty cool. Yeah. The last 2 weeks probably looks better, right? Pittsburgh down here, 18% K rate, 106 WRC plus. So they showing the ability to hit, right? I can see instances runs get put up on both sides. I know Philadelphia, they'll be getting ready to try to avoid the sweep. I'm not a fan of neither one of these pitchers, though. We'll see what's going to happen, all right? I like those lefties, Cal, Harper, Sawinski, and Reynolds. St. Louis Cardinals and the Braves here. What I had written down here was Donovan and versus Swellenbach. So Donovan, no, not versus Swellenbach, but in this time span, in a month's time span, Donovan versus this pitch mix, Donovan looked good. Burleson looked good, and Burleson also has 2 home runs. Okay. Now versus this pitch mix, for McCullers, Riley's got 5 home runs. He's my favorite bat here, so he's gonna be the one that I'm gonna bet on. Riley's got 5 home runs. Ozuna's got 3 home runs. Travis has 2 home runs within 2 weeks. So Travis D'Arnaud has been on fire versus this pitch mix within the last 2 weeks. All 3 of those guys are hitting above 300 versus this pitch mix in that time span, right? I was looking at this team. I do think I got some DVP for these guys set to the side over here. So Austin Riley versus McCullers. He's 4 for 12 with 2 singles, a double, and a home run. Matt Olson, I didn't mention him, but he's 4 of 9 versus McCullers with 2 doubles and 2 home runs. Donovan is 2 for 2 versus Swellenbach, 2 singles. Marcell Ozuna, he's 3 for 11 versus McCullers. 2 of those were home runs. D'Arnaud, only 1 for 5. Contreras 1 for that. Burleson's 2 for 2. You know, it is what it is, right? Eddie Rosario, he's 5 for 10, 4 singles and a home run. Ozzie Albies is 4 for 14, 3 singles and a home run. So these guys have seen him a lot. McCullers, overall, he's 27 of 79 versus this team. Good for a batting average of 342. So this team has hit him, right? Team has hit him as a whole. Orlando Arcia, he's 4 for 16, batting 250 with 2 singles and 2 doubles. They've seen him a lot, but the thing what still scares me is just these motherfuckers just still don't hit righties as well. Hit righties that well. Now, out of all of those bats, you definitely looking like I like Riley, because Riley has been the guy so far in the last month or so, whatever the case may be, and Ozuna, right? Those are the guys who Ozuna's been flaring here and there. Riley has been pretty consistent, right? So I'll be looking at those 2 guys. Riley 1A, Ozuna 1B, right? ATL my squad, but we fade at the end. Damn, yeah, man. Especially versus righties. Righties all ain't been looking good. I ain't gonna lie. Time to make some money. Yeah, for sure. Now, like I said, I didn't have time. I didn't have a lot of time, but that's where I got to, right? That's where I got to. I probably got another 15 minutes. I could take a quick look at whatever. If you guys got suggestions, you want me to look at something, you know, of course I'll still be researching, but I got things I got to do. So let's do a few spot things, right? So this San Francisco Giants game shot me down yesterday as well. Let's take a look at let's take a look at the Baltimore game. Let's take a look at the ball. Okay, so listen. First and foremost, you say Juan Soto doing this thing today? He said they was going so crazy early in the season. Ozuna was hitting everything. Michael Harris was too, for sure. He said Juan Soto doing this thing. If Juan Soto, I trust you. If Juan Soto look good, I'm definitely going to blindly look at take him. I mean, Juan Soto is my guy anywhere it goes, so I like that. I want to take a look at the Arizona Diamondbacks, right? They get Shota today. Okay, so this is going to be an interesting thing here. Just like they had Justin Steele the other day, right? Shota is a lefty, right? Now I'm telling y'all again, Shota, right? Shota is a lefty, so remember, this team is good versus their fastball. He's throwing that fastball 50% of the time right now to righties, right? This is a fastball hitting team, all right? So he's throwing 2 pitches, the fastball splitter. A hitter, all they got to do is lamp on it, right? So let me show you. Fastball and splitter, right? Look at all that shit. Look at all that shit. These are things, we go over this shit every day. You guys gonna know this shit by heart. Does it mean they're gonna fuck him up? No, it don't mean they're gonna fuck him up. But I was scared to fuck with Steele last week, right? Schulter is a lefty. I'm sorry. Schulter is a lefty, but it don't matter. Look, I filtered to righties. They cracking right hand pitching. Who's throwing that fastball like that? You switch it to lefties. They cracking left-handed hit batters. Pitchers who's throwing that fastball like that. See what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, Schulter is a lefty. Now we can come over here, and the proof is they already hit lefties good, right? They already hit lefties good on the season. They have Arizona 21% K rate with a 117 WRC plus. It's not hard to maintain a 117 WRC plus over the course of a whole season. I don't give a fuck what you say. You know what I'm saying? Last 30 days versus lefties. Probably a small sample size, but where are they? Arizona. 22% K rate with a 112 WRC plus. Where are they? At Chicago? They're at Chicago. I don't even think that shit matters, right? They've been hitting lefties, bro. So, like I said, let me see. Like I said, fastball. So, and he's throwing that fastball splitter. Those are only two pitches that I got. I can take the fastball down, and in the last month, they ain't seen no splitters. As you can see, right? They ain't seen no splitters. I put the fast, so I can actually take the splitter down. If I put the fastball back up there, boom. So what they would be trying to do, they'd be trying to lamp on the fastballs, right? So over the course of the month, right, small sample size here, I can put it back to 2 months here, right? I can go back to 2 months. Over the course of 2 months, still small sample size, but they getting them in, they getting them in, and they getting them out of there. You know what I'm saying? They getting them pitchers out of there. 9 for 18, Marte. 8 for 13, 6 for 15. Marino, 6 for 13. You know, they hitting righties. They hitting righties pretty hard there. They hitting that fastball pretty hard. And lefties, I'm sorry. Now, speaking of lefties, switching over to the lefties, I don't think the lefties are doing too much good right there. The thing, what I need to check out here is Schulter's splits, right? So, his splits versus righties and lefties home and away. Let's see what he's doing. So he's pitching, and remember, I ain't got no home run picks right now. I'll have some probably in a couple minutes. I ain't go through the whole slate. I'm only going through these last couple games. I got like 10 to 15 more minutes with you guys. I just going through what I went through. I dropped some picks. I do think Riley has a chance though. It's a few bats that we went over. Jack Sawinski looked good. Along with Reynolds looked good. But this was the same shit, right? So he's got 250 batting average versus righties and 211 versus lefties at home. Justin Steele looked really good. I was scared they got to Justin Steele. So it's a possibility they could probably get to Schulter. We'll see, right? I just have to point that out. Brandon Pfaadt, right? Brandon Pfaadt. We can probably look at Brandon Pfaadt for strikeouts here. But I think he's got splits that will scare me away. But we can probably look at Brandon Pfaadt for strikeouts. He's got a 4.8 ERA on the road. His K percentage on the road, 16% to lefties, 28 to righties. Game log for him. He gave the Cubs 6 strikeouts in 7 innings at home early in the season. Hasn't faced them since. Don't know what his K percentage is, his K prop is looking like, but 5.5 versus what right hand pitching. The Chicago Cubs versus right hand pitch. They have been striking out. Okay, they have. Look at the last 30 days here. Um, Chicago Cubs number 6 at 24.7. The last 30 days they have been hitting righties, so we'll see how that's gonna pan out. I'm not too much looking at the Cubs bats there. They just been fake as hell to me, but it is what it is, right? Last 2 weeks, Chicago Cubs 124 WRC plus, 19% K rate. So they've been showing the ability to hit righties. Do I think they're gonna hit Brandon Pfaadt here? Let me take another look at his splits here. On the road, he's giving it up to lefties, right? So in general, he's got a 294 batting average versus lefties, and then on the road, he's got a 305 batting average versus lefties. So that's gonna look like Michael Bush, right? So let's take a look at the Cubs lefties, right? Let's take a look at the Cubs lefties. Okay, so fastball 41% of the time, right? Okay. So Michael Bush over the course of a week, so they're striking out. Ian Happ and Michael Bush would be in there, right? We know they probably most likely should be in a lineup. They got a 28% K rate and a 31% K rate. That's man. So within a 4 weeks time span, both of these guys got 2 home runs, 260 and 270. Big time plate appearances, 45 and 50 plate appearances. So the plate appearances are there for sure. I mean, they can hit him. They can hit him. They can hit him. They can hit him. I mean, 260 batting averages, that ain't bad versus per pitch mix. It is. They can hit him. So, it is what it is, right? I didn't really pick out no bat that I really, really liked versus Arizona. It could be I don't know. How are they respecting this team? We'll see. They got a 7.5 over under in this spot. So they expect this shit to be low scoring. What about team total? Arizona total runs at 3.5. So if you think Arizona can put up some runs, then you could look at their team total, right? Or I would probably just look at hits or whatever case may be from your favorite bat. Another game that we can look at here would be anybody got a request on a game that we can look at? I want to look at this Baltimore game, right? So let's take a look at this Baltimore game. Dan Creamer, and then we got Haney, right? So Creamer, I think he gives up runs. I think his home road splits are kind of weird, right? Creamer, I think so. So let's take a look at it. Look at some of these hot games that I know you guys gonna want to bet on. So at home, he's pitching his worst at home so far. He's got 6.6, 6.1 ERA on the road, 2.7. In general, right now, so I think he's got pretty decent K stuff, but this Texas team don't strike out much. So on the road, his batting averages look pretty good, 143 and a 180 on the road. But we need to look at this game log. So 8 Ks at Seattle. At St. Louis, he gave up 5 earned runs. He had been hurt for a while. Since he's been back, Cubs got to him at home. At Seattle, he's looked good, of course. At New York at home versus the Yankees, he gave up a bomb, 4.2 innings. So, since he's been back, he hasn't been over 5 innings, right? So I don't know what to think of him right now. I don't know what to think of him right now. I don't. So then we'll look at who was that? Haney. We'll look at Haney, right? Let's take a look at Haney. He's giving it up to lefties at a 319 batting average just in general. At home, he pitches better. He pitches better at home. 217 batting average versus lefties, 214 batting average versus righties. On the road versus lefties, he's got a 367 batting average versus lefties, and on the road versus righties, he's got 242. They are at home. They are at home, but let me see. Let's take a look at his game log real quick. So he went to Baltimore, gave up 2 home runs with 10 strikeouts. I remember Haney used to have that shit. Is he getting his swagger back? We'll see. At Seattle, that was bad. 4 Ks, but Seattle been hitting lefties right better. How many times has he seen Baltimore this season? Only once. 1 second, man. It's cold as hell in here. Almost had to put some cover on. It's cold as hell in there. All right, so yeah, so right off the bat here, just gonna take a look at these guys real quick here. So I'm definitely gonna want to look at the lefties here, and that would be Gunnar Henderson for sure. Somebody like him. So I'll be looking at the lefties for sure. Baltimore, left-hand pitching. Fastball and slider. Look at Gunnar Henderson with a 47% K rate versus this fastball and slider. It's probably that slider. You know what? It's probably that fastball. Yeah, it's that fast. Oh, no, it's that slider. He's striking out versus the slider and the fastball. Damn, that's terrible. 47%. Either way it goes, not a big sample size. Let me see if I can move it out a little bit. 2 months. Okay. Well, anything can happen, right? Last 2 months, he's only got 2 home runs versus this pitch mix. He's striking out a ton versus this pitch mix, though. Shit. I'll go back to the last 4 weeks. Let's go look at these righties here. Add that change up in there. Now, righties look a little bit better. Mateo, Mountcastle. Okay, Mountcastle, 14% K rate. That's what I like, right? That's what I like right there. I only went over a few games. I ain't had a many. I ain't had a many. Only got like 8 more minutes with you guys. So I'm probably gonna cut it short right here, and then I'll give you a brief rundown of what we liked and what we looked at. Right. I ain't went through that. I gotta go. So, but I'm gonna give you guys a brief rundown. Now, we looking at this Baltimore game right now. You guys got anything? Drop it in the comments because I'm getting ready to wrap this shit up in a minute. Mountcastle looking pretty good, right? So let's take a look. Let's try to line this shit up. Mountcastle on the road. So look, let's look at some of Mountcastle splits, right? Mountcastle. On the road versus lefties, okay? We're going straight to it. On the road versus lefties. So he's got a 281 batting average, 300 on base percentage, 439 slugging, OPS 744 with 158 isolated power, WRC plus of 110. His best split would be home versus lefties, where he's got a 364 batting average, 614 slugging, 1,000 OPS, 250 isolated power. But that don't take. But we still going up against a lefty, so we got that hanging over our head. In general, his batting average is 317 versus lefties, slugging 515, overall isolated power with a 150 WRC plus. So in general, he looks good. He looks okay. He looks good versus lefties. He's a guy who I probably want to get to, right? He's got one home run and with a 14.2% K rate. That's what I like the most. I ain't gonna lie. Not even this 429 batting average. Don't strike out for me, right? Just go out there and get it done for me. Get something. If I want to add you to a hit parlay, that's what I want. I don't want you to strike out. Westberg with a 278 batting average, 26% K rate, but we can take a look at Westberg as well, right? Mateo looks pretty good, for sure. We can take a look at Westberg though. Let's take a look at Westberg. So, in general versus lefties, he's batting a 233. He's batting 233. The slugging is okay. It's up at 460. Isolated power is 233. I like that. Anything going for him? Versus lefties, and on the road versus lefties, 200 batting average. That's down. The power is still there. The power is still there. Still got power. Okay, still got power. So, it is what it is. This situation. So Mountcastle would be a guy, outside of the usual suspects and everything else. To go with that, Mountcastle would be a guy that I would be looking at. Mateo, you could look at Mateo, right? Mateo. If he's in a lineup, we can look at Mateo if he's in a lineup. He's got a batting average of 268 versus lefties. Isolated powers up 131 WRC plus. So I like that. 25% K rate. Those are numbers in general. On the road versus lefties, he ain't looking too good. He probably don't play that much on the road versus lefties either. Because at home versus lefties, he's a monster. 333 batting average, right? On the road versus lefties, not so much. So I don't even know if he's going to be in the lineup. Speaking of lineups, we can take a look and see who's in what lineups right now. Mateo is in the lineup, okay? Mountcastle. So Mountcastle hitting cleanup. There's no Gunnar Henderson in the lineup. That's interesting. Mountcastle could be, he could be in an RBI spot. He could be in a hit spot. He could be in an RBI spot. So there's no Gunnar Henderson today. That's interesting. KCR runs over 20. Okay, that's what he liked. Okay. And then we're gonna take a look at let's take a look at this Colorado game, okay? This will be the last game I'll take a look at because this is the game you got to take a look at the Coors Field, right? They let me down yesterday. We're going right back to the well, take a look at this Coors Field game again today, right? So if you don't know about Coors Field, he said I'm done with the MLB after a couple days. So let's take a look at Coors Field, then I'll get out of here, right? Yeah, I'll get out of here after that. All right, so look, Coors Field, San Francisco Giants at Colorado Rockies, Birdsong, right? He has pitched 4 games. Hasn't went over 5. He hasn't went over 5 innings. He's given up 3 home runs, 2 versus Atlanta, 1 versus the Cubs. 4-game sample size. It is what it is, right? Not going to look into too much there. Then we got Austin Gomber, right? So let's take a look at Austin Gomber real quick. Gomber. So he's pitching better at home than he's pitching on the road. That's interesting. 3.5 ERA at home in Coors Field. You guys don't know about Coors. It's weird. Away 5.6. In general, he's pitching his worst to righties. Home versus lefties, he's giving up a 190 batting average. Home versus righties, he's giving up a 261 batting average, right? He's giving up power, you know. He's got a 3 home run per 9 at home versus lefties and a 1.2 home run per 9 at home versus righties. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's slap his ass up there. Gomber. He's pitching his worst at home versus righties. At home, he's pitching his worst versus righties. Y'all know what that is, right? I'm going back to the well on some of these motherfuckers. We're gonna see. The sinker slider slurve. He's got a slurve, man. Wow. He's throwing that sinker and slider the most. Gomber is a righty, right? Oh, he's a lefty. Oh my God. So they haven't seen that many lefties, right? I gotta push this out. I'll give it to Chapman. This year, his strikeouts percentage has been down this year. That's interesting, but it's not a big sample size for none of these guys. I mean, Chapman. This is over the course of 2 weeks, 2 months. Chapman looks good. I mean, these guys. Chapman, Ramos, Slater. There's not a lot that I can go off of. It's only over the course of the last 2 weeks and still not a big sample, 2 months. It's still not a big sample size. But what I will tell you is overall, what I do know is overall versus lefties, it was a time where this team was cracking the shit out of lefties, right? So overall, San Francisco, let's take a look. San Francisco, uh, 22% K rate with a 115 WRC plus. That's on the season, right? Then last 30 days, San Francisco versus lefties. They got a high K rate right now, and then 109 WRC plus. So last 30 days they've been looking good versus lefties. Over the season they've been looking good versus lefties. I couldn't talk you off anything on the bad side. Somehow they've been striking out versus lefties. Don't know who they faced, but it is what it is. Right, course does get weird. Gomber been booty this whole career for sure. Last season too. Hey, downplay. Downplay. Yo, OG, please help me out. Which 2 pitches should I take in DFS today? Don't know what slate Blanco's going to be on, but I like Blanco. You must be talking about the 1 p.m. slate. The 1 p.m. slate, I would look at. It's hard. I don't like pitching on the 1 p.m. slate. I don't. This is hard as fuck. Um, Abbott, I wouldn't look too much into Abbott's strikeouts, but if you want somebody that's going, I don't know. Oh, Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan got strikeout upside. Joe Ryan. I rank him probably Joe Ryan. Um, on a 1 p.m. slate, probably Joe Ryan. He's gonna be high on though. Abbott shouldn't give up too many runs, but the K rate, he probably won't get a lot of strikeouts. Don't like pitching today at all. If you're really talking about, my favorite pitcher would be Blanco on the day. Okay, would be Blanco. So at the end of the day here, we have, what's the total here for this San Francisco game? We have a total of 10 here. It's gonna be interesting. The Colorado side, I don't know, right? So Colorado, let's see. Take a look at Birdsong real fast, and we're gonna get out of here, right? Look at some Colorado bats. Fastball slider. So versus this fastball slider, it's been interesting. Now Colorado is red as hell over here in the strikeout category. Shit, that's bad. But at home, they're different beasts at home, though. I ain't even gonna lie. So, and then it's Coors Field. So, I mean, Brendan Doyle versus Christmas, he does have 2 home runs. The isolated power is still there for Doyle, right? 318. So, he can take a bomb out. You know what I'm saying? Tovar, um, averages look ass, right? Averages look ass. Strikeouts look terrible. So, I don't know how they're gonna be striking out at home. I'll take a look at that in 1 second, right? I'll take a look at that in 1 second. Let's look at these lefties real fast, right? Um, Now, the lefties look good. Jake Cave, he's batting 333, 25. All these motherfuckers strike out. Look at that shit. That's terrible. That's terrible. Look at that. 25, 25, 34, 40. Everybody, lefties and righties, striking out. But yeah, so Ryan McMahon doesn't have a home run. Toglia, he's only batting 156. He's got 2 home runs in a month's time span versus this pitch mix. Jake Cave, he has 3 bombs, 5 extra base hits, 7 hard hits, 25% K rate. He's somebody that we can look at here, right? 400 isolated power. Jake Cave is somebody that we can look at, right? Jake Cave, somebody we can look at for sure. 25% K rate, probably the lowest on the team. That's high as hell, but it's high, but it's still the lowest on the team. So that's crazy, right? Ryan McMahon batted 300 versus that number, so and 30 plate appearances. So, and then, like I said, it's Coors Field. So last but not least, let's take a look at some of these splits for these Coors Field guys. Versus right-hand pitching, on the season, they striking out the 4th most with an 82 WRC plus. We can filter this on the road though. I mean, at home versus right-hand pitching at home, and let's see how they do. At home, it comes down a little bit with an 84 WRC plus. At home, last 30 days versus right-hand pitching, Colorado, 21% with a 112 WRC plus. See, that's the difference between home and the road. That's this ballpark. This ballpark is a motherfucker. Okay? Ballpark is a motherfucker. Took them all the way down to 18th in strikeouts. Y'all seen all that strikeout, but when they at home, it's a whole total different ball game. Last 14 days at home versus righties, Colorado, 22% K rate, 134 WRC plus. Small sample size though, so I wouldn't really take too much into consideration there, but don't get it twisted. This ballpark will produce runs. Last but not least, let's take a look at the weather, and I'll get out of here, right? And I'll give you guys a rundown. Milwaukee at Minnesota. Storm should fire in the mid-afternoon or late afternoon, and that will give us time to get most if not all, of this game in before we have to worry about rain chances. Later inning delay is possible. Tampa Bay Rays in New York. A raindrop, maybe, probably nothing more than that. St. Louis, Atlanta. Pop-up showers and storms this afternoon. I'm not too impressed by the coverage. So I think we likely get away with clean here. It's worth the typical note here that these kinds of storms are quite literally impossible to pinpoint until after they develop, which will happen after the game starts. So a delay is still possible. Chicago White Sox, Kansas City Royals. Almost all of the rain holds south of KC. Low chance of anything significant here ending over the ballpark. Arizona at the Cubs. Few raindrops, nothing heavy. Winds are in from right center at 10 miles an hour. Winds do matter in Chicago. San Francisco Giants at Colorado. Scattered showers and storms. We may be getting towards the point of the season where it becomes a near daily issue in Colorado. And 9 times out of 10, it will work out fine. That's basically where we stand today. Could see some rain or even a storm or two, but I wouldn't fade it. Okay, so it is what it is. I'm not looking at pictures anyway. I'll be looking at batters in that situation. As far as I've gotten, a rundown here would look like this. So, Ronel Blanco, it worked in my favor, right? I would probably go back to well on this. His fantasy score went from 36 to 35. Interesting. But I took it at 36. So I took the 2 pick here on Prize Picks would come out to be Abbott, 17 pitching outs, Blanco, pitcher fantasy score, right? I took that 2 pick. I want to put together a 6 pick here. So I want to, so I'll figure that out maybe in a little while. So that's what I had ran right there on Prize Picks as far as a 2 pick. Quick rundown of these games, what we went through so far. Milwaukee Brewers and Minnesota Twins. I lean to the over strikeouts and pitching outs. They parlay pieces right now. If you want to lay that minus 140 for Ryan, it's only a lean though. It's only a lean. If you want to lay that minus 140, be my guest. I might throw it in. I'm probably going to end up throwing it in the 6 pick. So let me see. Matter of fact, I might take a look at his fantasy score. I'm going to add his. You know what? I might just add his strikeouts here. I'll add his strikeouts in. Let's see. This will be a 6 pick here that I'm garnering. I'm trying to get to. Put your strikeouts. It's up to 7 now. I'll toss in his fantasy score. Fuck it. Toss the fantasy score over there. Okay. Now, the bats here. I know I like Buxton. There's a few more bats. The righties, Minnesota Twins righties. I can't exactly pinpoint who it was. I didn't write them down. Okay, I didn't write the bats down, but Buxton looked good. So definitely, and then he'll probably be looking for some get back for tomorrow. So maybe if I add Buxton's hits, runs, and RBIs in there, right? And we probably won't get it. Let's see. Buxton. Okay, I'll take that 2.5. And it's crazy because they didn't give you 1.5. I might take that down and do a demon parlay. Either way it go, I'm gonna take it down. I do like Buxton, right? So Buxton. Abbott, you already seen I like his pitching outs. I don't mind getting to Irvin pitching outs, but I'm not. I'm just sticking with the Abbott pitching outs there. Ellie De La Cruz looked okay, but I ain't fucking with him. All right. The lefties here for Philly. Schwarber and versus pitch mix in the last month. He has 3 home runs versus that pitch mix. and Harper looks okay in the last month versus the pitch mix of Gonzalez. So those two guys I like, and I can't talk about Trey Turner because he's just been hotter than the depot stove lately. He didn't do shit yesterday, but he might bounce back today. Pittsburgh. Jackson Winsky looks great with a 10% K rate versus that pitch mix of Phillips there. Over the course of four weeks, that's really good for Jackson Winsky. He's got 3 home runs versus that pitch mix, along with Reynolds has 3 home runs versus that pitch mix in the last 4 weeks as well, right? And then a few righties, like 3 or 4 righties, strikeout percentage was down. Michael Taylor, McCutcheon, Cabrian Hayes, but those are guys that you can look at for hits. If I'm looking for bombs here, of course, Kyle, Harper, Sawinski, Reynolds. The Cardinals and Atlanta Braves. Donovan and Burleson look good. These are the lefties. Versus this pitch mix, Burleson has 2 home runs within the last month versus Swellenbach's pitch mix. Rowley has 5 home runs versus McCullough's pitch mix. Ozuna has 3 home runs versus his pitch mix in the last month. Travis, in the last 2 weeks, he has 2 home runs versus his pitch mix. McCullers, all these guys in the last month are batting above 300 versus his pitch mix. These 2 teams do have history. I'll go over that history one more time. Keep in mind, this is the history. This doesn't dictate what's been going on lately. Because what's been going on lately is Atlanta Braves been terrible versus right-hand pitching. McCullers is a righty, but I'll go over some history again. Austin Riley is 4 for 12 with a home run, 2 singles, and a triple. Matt Olson, who I did not mention, he's a lefty, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 4 of 9. Brendan Donovan is 2 for 2. Ozuna is 3 of 11. 3 of 11 with 2 of those 3 was home runs. Jared Kalenic is 2 for 2 with a home run. Travis D'Arnaud is 1 for 5, a double. Contreras is 1 for 3, and that's a single. Alec Burleson is 2 for 2. Eddie Rosario is 5 for 10, 4 singles and a bomb. Ozzy, 4 for 14, 3 singles, a home run. Miles McCullers, the pitcher, as a whole versus his team, he's 27 of 79, good for 342 batting average. So Orlando Arcia, 4 for 16, 2 singles, 2 doubles. Keep in mind, that's the history. That means nothing to me, right? At the end of the day, that's what that is. That's what that means. Absolutely nothing. I didn't look at the Mets game, which I should have looked at the Mets game. Didn't get a chance to get to the Detroit Tigers game. Shout out to whoever said they liked Soto there. I trust you. Check the chat. You can check the chat for the thoughts on this Kansas City game. Shout out to Don't Matter. He put something in chat for that. Sharta, right? Sharta, he's pitching that fastball 50% of the time. This Arizona Diamondbacks do hit lefties well, and they hit the fastball well. Does that mean they're going to go out there and have a good game versus him? No. But I'm scared of them versus the fastball. They fucked up. They fucked the boy up. Justin Steele up. You know, they might fuck Schulter up. Who knows? Mountcastle was my guy here. I like the Mountcastle numbers here. For Baltimore, didn't look at the Texas Rangers bats here. I didn't write nothing down for this Colorado game, so I'm probably going to have to go back over and look over this Colorado game. I definitely need to look over the Oakland game, and I definitely like Blanco strikeouts and or pitching outs. And I did look at the Boston game. Okay, I got to go. Stay here longer than I thought I had. I couldn't have things together because I did go out last night, but at the end of the day, take what you like, leave what you don't. Peace. Good luck to you guys. Good luck to you.